Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you know when live we go. Dear students, RAU'S Prelims Test Series 2021 is a complete testing and revision course for the upcoming prelims examination. The program will help you prepare for UPSC prelims through a step-up approach. It is a meticulously designed study plan to organize your preparation and keep you on track towards covering the prelims GS and CSAT syllabus extensively from NCERT to the advanced level. The goal of our Prelims Test Series 2021 program is to exhaustively cover all standard sources of study material, including NCERT, with a study plan to test you at par with UPSC level of questions, thereby improving your chances of clearing the prelims examination. To give multiple revision of the entire syllabus from the perspective of civil service prelims pattern. The test series program will also give you the final revision of all topics and themes before the examination through QIP videos and prelims compass notes. The QIP videos or Quality Improvement Program videos are for speedy revision of all important topics for the upcoming prelims examination. QIP videos are kind of crash course for the prelims examination. And prelims compass are 8 subject-wise prelims compilation of all static and current affair topics important for the upcoming prelims. RAU'S Prelims Test Series 2021 will include topics test, testing the concept of candidate. It will include thematic test on both the concept and the current affair of that particular theme. It will also include current affair tests covering the monthly current affairs. And there will be full-length test before the final exam to simulate you for the D-Day. There is a link in the description of this video. You can click on the link for registration and to also check out the demo QIP videos. Hello and welcome to today's DNS. We are going to have discussion on today's newspaper, The Hindu, Delhi edition dated 1st February 2020. We will take up articles important for civil service examination and discuss them as per the demand of the exam. The articles that we are going to pick up for discussion have been tabulated in front of you and the time stamping for the same has been given in the description section.
This news article is from page number 8. Garbage to power plant in veggie market gets PM pat. Prime Minister Modi during his recent address of Mann Ki Baat has appreciated garbage to power plant or waste to power plant or waste to energy plant that is being commissioned in Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Agriculture Market in Bovanpalli in Telangana. Agriculture market generate lots of organic waste. They can be used for efficient energy conversion, which will be a renewable form of energy apart from solid waste management and keeping good hygiene and sanitation. The garbage to power plant that is being commissioned is based on biomethanation technology, about which we will talk about in a while. This technology has been developed together by CSIR and Indian Institute of Chemical Technology. We shall have a detailed discussion on garbage to power plant or waste to energy plant. First of all, let us see importance of converting waste to energy or the importance of waste to energy power plants. Niti Aayog under Swachh Bharat Mission envisaged using waste to energy power plant as means to waste management and developing good sanitation in cities. Because of rapid urbanization, India is generating huge amount of solid waste. Our urban solid waste generation is around 62 million tons every year. Because of this high waste generation and because of new opportunity opening in the energy market, waste to energy has more value than just environmental. The municipal solid waste to energy market presently is growing at 9.5%. There is huge opportunity in terms of economics, industrial development, employment generation, etc. If we talk about waste to energy conversion from organic matter, waste to energy conversion becomes even more pertinent Because according to many estimation and the one given by Food and Agriculture Organization, 40% of food produced in India are wasted. When waste are converted to energy, the waste in the process of conversion are also processed. Or to say otherwise, they are made less toxic. So the waste which ultimately comes out of waste to energy power plant, that can be used in safe landfills, and that will cause less harm to land and to water bodies. Because of sustainable use in terms of landfills or in terms of construction material, the energy coming from waste is considered as renewable energy. According to estimation of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, India has approximate potential of 5,700 megawatt that can come from urban and industrial waste. Waste to energy conversion is also a sunrise industry. Government is incentivizing this industry and it is becoming new business opportunity for entrepreneurs. If we can develop more technology for waste to energy conversion, that will have other spin-off benefits. One, we can give this technology to other Asian countries. And two, if we are successful in conversion of waste to energy in terms of urban waste or organic waste or industrial waste, then we can venture into treatment of sewage waste as well, and also hazardous industrial waste. Waste to energy is an important topic for the mains examination for economics, for environment, and also for science and technology. However, despite these benefits, waste to energy power plants in India have not really taken off. Presently, there are around 186 waste to energy plant in India. This number is little old. We do not have updated data on this. This is of September 2020. As and when you get the updated number on this, please update your notes. The total cumulative installed capacity of waste to energy power plant are around 320 megawatt. Niti Aayog envisaged developing power plant capacity of waste to energy power plants of around 800 megawatt. So a large gap remains to be filled. Also, as per the report of Center for Science and Environment, half of the waste to energy power plants are defunct or they work with very low efficiency. So obviously there must be some problem with India's waste to energy power plants. First of all, the municipal solid waste in India have low calorific value, meaning the amount of energy that can be drawn from unit mass of solid waste is less. And the municipal solid waste in India have high moisture content. When the moisture content in the waste is high, better, more advanced and costly technology are required. Simple thermal heating, when the moisture content is high, result in low conversion of waste to energy. Also, since the municipal waste in India are mostly unsegregated, there are high inert element in the waste that does not help in conversion of waste to energy. The use of PVC in India is very high. PVC is a kind of plastic, polyvinyl chloride. Because of presence of chlorine, it becomes even more carcinogenic than normal plastics. So the pollution from India's waste to energy power plant is high. And as discussed, because of low calorific value, that is because of higher presence of inert content and high moisture content, the cost of electricity generation from waste to energy power plants in India is high. Presently, it is around twice the cost of that of coal-based power plant. One of the technologies used in waste to energy plant is biomethanation. Biomethanation technologies so far were imported, but recently CSIR in collaboration with other institutes has started to try out biomethanation technology in India as well. With Indianization of the technology, perhaps the cost of electricity generation from waste to energy power plants in India will be reduced. Then because of issue of pollution that we have discussed, because the waste are not segregated and because of PVC usage in India, there have been protests and criticism of waste to energy power plant. For example, one very prominent protest was staged against Okhla waste to energy power plant. People in general are having negative attitude towards waste to energy power plant even though the energy created from them are considered as renewable. The technology used for waste to energy conversion can be classified into 4 categories. The most basic, rudimentary, fundamental method of converting waste to energy is thermal conversion. Basically, you heat up the waste at high temperature. That leads to degradation and complete oxidation of waste at that elevated temperature. However, you would understand that even carcinogenic emission will be very high in this case. Everything will be broken down, everything will be boiled up. You will not have any fuel product. You will only have thermal product, maybe in form of emission hot gas, and that you can use to heat other things up, converting heat energy into some other form of energy. When you have organic matter as waste and that organic matter is non-biodegradable, then thermochemical conversion technologies can be used. This is a little upgradation from thermal conversion. Although in this as well, waste is heated at high temperature, but since this is organic matter, you get some fuel product as well. Especially when the moisture content in the waste is less, then thermochemical conversion works better. The reason being, when moisture is less, you can have producer gas, which is mixture of carbon monoxide, hydrogen, and some amount of carbon dioxide as well. If you have more moisture, then you will not have the producer gas in this pure form. Then again, you will not have a fuel product. You will only have a thermal product, some emission hot gases, but you will not have a fuel product, something that can be used further as fuel. An upgrade from thermochemical conversion is biochemical conversion. Chemical conversion meaning you will have some fuel product, and biochemical would mean that you will have enzymatic decomposition of organic matter. So here you had organic matter, but the organic matter was not to be biodegradable, mostly non-biodegradable, but biochemical conversion can work better if you have high percentage of organic biodegradable matter. Only then the enzyme can perform their function. And for enzymatic action, you also need to have high level of moisture. So this method is ideal for organic products, ideal for vegetable food wastes. They are organic, biodegradable, and they also have high moisture content. In this method, you will get fuel product and not just random emission of hot gases. You can get methane out of this. You can also get some kind of alcohol, methanol or ethanol. When the waste predominantly produce methane through the process of biochemical conversion, then that technology or the process is called as biomethanation. Methanation is for production of methane, and methane is a very good fuel with high calorific value. In the beginning, we saw that this garbage to power plant or waste to energy plant that is being set up in Bhavanpalli in Telangana in Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Agriculture Market that uses technology of biomethanation. Because this is being done for agricultural waste in agriculture market, so biomethanation is the best suitable technology for this. Then we have electrochemical conversion. This is a very advanced form of waste to energy conversion technology. It uses microbial fuel cell. Cell is a kind of battery. Fuel cells are one that uses fuels to charge up the cell. That can be done through chemical action. That can also be done through microbial action. Microbial fuel cells uses the oxidation reduction machinery in the microbes. So you will have a fuel cell, you will have electrodes, and you will fill it up by the waste, and you will add microbes in it. The microbes will carry out changes and there will be inherent reduction oxidation machinery working in the microbes. That will be used to charge up the electrodes. But however, this technology is at very nascent level, and in India, it has not been implemented in any of the waste to energy power plants yet. Perhaps in future it will be done. Now let's talk about way ahead. We have seen the advantages, we have seen the problems. Now let's see how to fill up the gap. To deal with any major issue in the country, you must have a policy. For waste to energy conversion, the state governments must come up with clear policy with regard to allocation of land to the power plants, the supply chain that will deal with the supply of garbages, the wastes to the power plants. We have seen earlier that the use of PVC in the waste to energy power plant creates carcinogenic emissions. And because of that, the pollution caused by these power plants are very high, and hence the protest. Waste Management Rules 2016 already has asked to phase out PVC. We need implementation of this. There must also be proper implementation of Municipal Solid Waste Rules 2000 that aims at ensuring segregated solid waste. Because of non-segregation, inert material in the waste becomes very high. The calorific value of the waste decreases and the efficiency of power plant reduces. That results in high cost of energy generation. In order to implement the policy and legislation, you need to have proper functioning institution. Municipal corporation that is responsible for collection of waste and then supplying it to the waste power plant must be strengthened, both in terms of human resource, training and finance. Niti Aayog in its vision document has asked for establishment of Waste to Energy Corporation of India. This has not been done yet. In order to develop waste to energy power plant as a promising industry that will not only solve the environmental problems but will also be economically very beneficial, we must have an overarching body like this. Then we must have infrastructure development. We already have around 186 waste to energy power plant, but according to the recent report of Center for Science and Environment, half of them are defunct. Many of them work at very low efficiency. China has more than 300 waste to energy power plants, and it has set a national target of using 1/3 of the waste in these power plants. Sweden is a country that imports solid waste because it can convert waste into energy with very high efficiency. So we need to create infrastructure both in terms of number of waste to energy power plants and the technology used in those power plants. One of the suggestions is that railways, which itself creates lots of waste, from the canteens at railway station, from the catering services in train, can establish waste to energy power plants near big railway stations. Then there has to be a certain model through which the governance, the administrative structure of waste to energy will work. One of that is power purchase obligation. Delhi Metro recently has started receiving 2 megawatt energy from 12 megawatt waste to energy power plant in Ghazipur. Large energy consumer like metro and railway and other businesses, they can be asked to have a power purchase obligation from these waste to energy power plants. K. Kasturi Rangan Committee recommended PPP model for waste to energy plants. Many of the PPP model have come up, but for creation of more infrastructure, more thrust must be given for PPP model. Waste to energy power plants recently in India have been facing difficulty because of protest coming from public. Difficulty is also at the stage of land acquisition, land clearance, and once the power plant is up and running, then also they face protest. This is largely on account of high polluted emission coming from these power plants. So first that needs to be set right, and then people must be made aware of environmental advantages of these waste to energy power plants. More technology needs to be developed. The technology that we are working with, A, they are imported, and B, they are not very advanced. We can cooperate with countries like Sweden for technology transfer. To conclude the topic, let us see this question from Prelims 2019. In the context of which one of the following are the terms pyrolysis and plasma gasification mentioned? See, pyre means heat. It also means fire. It also means heap of combustile material. Lysis means the process of breaking down. Pyrolysis would mean breaking down of something under the influence of heat or fire. You can also say it is a kind of thermal degradation. Gasification is a process of creation of gases from some kind of waste or fuel. I hope this common sense will help you get to the right answer, which is option D, waste to energy technologies. I discussed with you pyrolysis and gasification, although not using the term deliberately, when I discussed with you technologies used for waste to energy conversion. Pyrolysis and gasification are kind of thermochemical conversion. I deliberately didn't mention them, hoping that you will get to the right answer using your common sense. This is how things always going to be. You will not get question from directly what you have read. But using your prior knowledge and common sense, you will get to the right answer in most of the questions, or at least in so many that will get you to the other side. Prime Minister Modi in his Mann Ki Baat also has appreciated Mr. Rajappan. Mr. Rajappan is a 69-year-old man. He is paralyzed below his knees, but he is untiring in his effort to clean up Vembanad Lake. For several years now, he has been earning his living by collecting plastic bottles that have been floating on the lake and nearby stream, thereby showing commitment to cleanliness, cleaning the lake. This is a good example from current affair. Since this has been mentioned in Mann Ki Baat, so everybody will know this. There's high chance that the evaluator will also be aware of this. You can use this example in GS answers and also in your essays. In 2017, UPSC has asked a question in GS paper 4, ethics paper. One of the sub-question of this question was, when the number of people adopting unfair means is large, a small minority having a penchant towards ethical means makes no difference. Question on similar lines have been asked before, will be asked again. While justifying this kind of question, you give examples.
where you can use example of Mr. Rajappan. A change, after all, is brought about because ordinary people do extraordinary things. This is a quotation by Mr. Barack Obama. You can use this quotation together with the example for justification of a statement like this. There is a news article on page number 1, a bullet through island's heart. The Niti Aayog's plan for sustainable and holistic development of Andaman, although it was released back in 2018, but now it seems that it is put in motion. And that has caused some uneasiness among some conservationists. We will see what the issue is, but before that, holistically, we'll see the significance of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The maritime importance of groups of islands in Andaman and Nicobar is very high, both in terms of trade and surveillance or strategic significance. Andaman and Nicobar Islands account for 30% of India's exclusive economic zone revenue, and a lot of it has remained untapped. That is why there's a call for infrastructure development in the island. India still does not have a transshipment hub facility. Because of that, most of the large ships bound for India either go to Colombo port or the Singapore port. And from there, through smaller ships, goods comes to India. If a large port facility developed for transshipment is developed in Campbell Bay, which is an appropriate location identified for that, this is in Nicobar, then India will have better trading opportunity with ASEAN nations. It will also help to improve India's relation with ASEAN region in alignment with India's Act East policy. If you look from the perspective of surveillance or strategic importance of island, it is also very high. India's only tri-service command is there in Andaman and Nicobar Island. It is there at the entrance of Malacca Strait. Malacca Strait is very close by to Nicobar Island. UPSC asked this question in the prelims of 2017. Which of the following is geographically closest to Great Nicobar? Sumatra, Borneo, Java, Sri Lanka. See, here is our Andaman Nicobar Island, and the Nicobar Island is very close to Sumatra. This is the Java Island, this is Borneo, and here we have Sri Lanka. The distance, as you can see, is closest from Sumatra. But the Strait of Malacca is not very far by. Shipment of oil coming from the Persian Gulf passes through Strait of Malacca and then it goes to Hong Kong and China. This is a very important trade route, and developing Nicobar Island transshipment port at Campbell Bay will be very significant in this regard. Also, you would know this region is developing as Chinese sphere of influence. China is pushing for Kra Canal in Thailand. It is a canal that will run right through Thailand, making way for ships so that Strait of Malacca can be bypassed. After the Doklam, you must be aware that Chinese influence and incursion towards the eastern coast of India has increased. Chinese scorpion has been found as close as Sumatra Island. From security point of view, developing the tri-command that we have at Andaman and beefing up its infrastructure at Nicobar is very important. Development of such a base will also help in functioning of Quad. Also, you will understand one thing. When you develop civilian infrastructure that has positive externalities for overall infrastructure. So if we want infrastructure for surveillance, if we want to develop our strategic infrastructure, trade infrastructure, infrastructure for tourism, etc. must also be developed. What has been done so far regarding development of islands in Andaman and Nicobar? The fresh impetus for development began in 2016 when the government identified 26 islands in Andaman and Nicobar group of islands for sustainable development. Then in 2018, announcement was made for laying off submarine optical cable between Chennai and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. A lot of progress has been done in this project, and around 23 kilometers of submarine optical fiber cable has been laid. Universal Service Obligation Fund under Ministry of Communication was used in this regard. Prior to this, in 2017, Island Development Agency was established for holistic development of islands in Andaman and Nicobar. One of the important dimensions of development of island was community-based tourism. You must know for the prelims exam that Island Development Agency, which still exists today, is chaired by Union Home Minister. And other members are secretaries, cabinet secretary and secretaries to other ministries like Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Tourism, Tribal Ministry, etc. India and Japan has envisioned development of smart islands on the line of development of smart cities, and that will include islands from Andaman and Nicobar groups. Also in 2018, Niti Aayog came up with a vision document. It was called as Sustainable Development of Little Andaman Island Vision Document. The idea is to leverage the strategic location of Andaman and Nicobar, having close proximity with Asian nation, and also it is on a very important trade route. Apart from that, it has important, beautiful natural features that can make it a tourism hotspot. Niti Aayog also has a vision of development of free trade zone in Andaman and Nicobar in line with Singapore and Hong Kong. Niti Aayog is also working in developing a revenue model to develop sea connectivity projects. Because unless there is a strong connectivity with the mainland, infrastructure development will be limited. And recently, Prime Minister has declared that Andaman and Nicobar group of islands will be developed as maritime and startup hub. And that has put the ball rolling. And with that, the concern of conservationists also has increased. In the planned document of Niti Aayog in its planned document itself has identified certain blocks to the development of Andaman and Nicobar Island. First of all, Niti Aayog identifies that lack of good connectivity with the mainland and also with other global cities, that is a hindrance. Although digital connectivity now has been taken care of, but physical connectivity still remains a challenge. Andaman and Nicobar has a rich but also fragile biodiversity reserve. Recently, Supreme Court has given many judgment which has impeded. vis-a-vis conservation of natural resources and welfare of tribal population in Andaman and Nicobar. Niti Aayog has referred to those notifications of Supreme Court also as impediment to development. Presence of indigenous tribes and concerns for their welfare also has been referred to as impediment or blocks to the development of Andaman and Nicobar Island. See, 95% of Little Andaman is covered with forest, and large part of it is pristine forest, meaning in its natural state, untouched, unharmed, not damaged by humans yet. A large part of it is reserve forest under Indian Forest Act 1927. And Little Andaman also has Ong Tribal Reserve, which is a unique area having social, ecological and historical importance. The tribes in Andamans are considered to be the oldest. Some of them have never come in contact with mainstream population. From anthropogenic and evolutionary perspective, their value is extremely high. Andaman and Nicobar also host rich biodiversity. In the West Bay on the west coast, where we are planning for a transshipment port, there is very important nesting site of globally endangered giant leatherback turtle. In 2018, there was also relaxation of restricted area permit in Andaman and Nicobar Island. This was done with the intention of encouraging tourism in the island. Flag also has been raised by conservationists and environmentalists that environment impact assessment is not done for the projects that are taken up in the island. It has been identified in the article that in the vision document, Niti Aayog says, if the tribal becomes an impediment, they can be relocated to other parts of the island. And this is very concerning to many. It also has been mentioned in the article that on February 4, there is a meeting to be held which will be headed by Chief Secretary. The meeting is on the issue of initiating the denotification of the Ong Tribal Reserve on the Little Andaman. These are some very serious concerns. Development no doubt is important. Strategic importance of Andaman no doubt is very high. We need to develop infrastructure for surveillance purpose, and we also have talked about how commercial development is also important in order to sustain strategic infrastructure there. But at the same time, concern for conservation of environment and tribal welfare also has to be taken into account. We need a tight balance of environmental, economic, strategic and social development. 30th January was the death anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. In this context, the article has appeared on page number 6. The Mahatma and the empowerment of the other. UPSC loves Mahatma Gandhi and so do all of us. UPSC asks question on Mahatma Gandhi in essay paper in GS 1, 2, 3, 4, all the papers. Just to show you few examples, in GS paper 1 in 2018, there was a question throw light on the significance of the thoughts of Mahatma Gandhi in the present times. You must prepare answer to this question because you can use that for questions in various other form, in various other contexts. UPSC also has asked to highlight the difference in the approach of Subhash Chandra Bose and Mahatma Gandhi in the struggle of freedom. A very analytical question was asked: how different would have been the achievement of Indian independence without Mahatma Gandhi? In paper 4, every year there is a question on Mahatma Gandhi, either in terms of some philosophies or principles of Mahatma Gandhi or some quotation of Mahatma Gandhi. In 2016, they asked about the concept of 7 sins given by Mahatma Gandhi. In 2013, they asked on the philosophy of Sarvodaya. The good of an individual is contained in the good of all. Then many a times quotations of Mahatma Gandhi are asked. In 2020 prelims examination, this question was there. One common agreement between Gandhism and Marxism is class struggle was given as one option. Gandhiji always tried to bridge the difference between class, caste, religion, communities, nation. Class struggle was never supported by Mahatma Gandhi. He always stressed on compromise and harmonious living. Abolition of private property would be very extreme for Mahatma Gandhi to advocate. Economic determinism is a concept which says that economic relation is supreme. It determines, it shapes, it forms all other relationships, whether political or social or technological or whatever. Gandhiji never gave prominence to economics or economic relation in society. He rather emphasized on principle of Sarvodaya through Antodaya. He always gave preference to social relation. Sarvodaya through Antodaya means welfare of all is in the welfare of the last one. Gandhiji wanted to have social relationship even in economic sphere. He gave the philosophy of trusteeship, meaning the corporates, the industrialists, the rich, they must act as trustees of rights of poor and vulnerable. Gandhiji gave his talisman, which means that all decision, including economic, has to be taken in consideration with the most poor vulnerable person you have seen. He emphasized on social principles, Lok Niti over Raj Niti, political principles. Gandhiji gave his concept of 7 deadly sins. That includes commerce or business without morality or ethics. Commerce without morality is one of the greatest sins. Gandhiji never emphasized only on economic values. He always gave preference to social values. To encapsulate his idea of society, he gave the concept of Ram Rajya to make it easy for people to understand. Gandhiji explained that Ram Rajya would be an ideal society where there will be justice, equality, people will sacrifice, come to common terms and have a harmonious living. To explain it further, he said that in Ram Rajya, things will be rule-based, based on truth and dharma. The similar concept of rule of law in modern democracy. People will be virtuous and contented, satisfied, so that sustainable development would be possible. Because virtues will prevail in society, so one that will take the position of ruler, the king, he will be idle in his personal sphere as well. Then from the economic idea of Mahatma Gandhi, we understand that he always gave thirst to decentralization. He wanted grassroots democracy. Article 40 of our constitution in the DPSP is Gandhian principle. He wanted to have more focus on cottage industry rather than large industries. He wanted a highly decentralized society where there would be a ruler, there would be a king, but power will not be in his hand in the manner that he can use them as per his whims and fancies. Things will work as per the rule and rule will be based on truth and dharma. Now if you see this question, the closest option that you can reach to is option A, the final goal of a stateless society. That clearly Marx wanted, but Gandhiji wanted a highly decentralized society with no or less authority of central power. To cover entire aspect of Mahatma Gandhi in one session is not possible. It will take one whole day to discuss Mahatma Gandhi, covering the aspects which are important for civil service examination. In the notes file for this DNS, you will find many other aspects of Mahatma Gandhi, his opinion on education, his opinion on environment, and his other philosophies and principles. You must take a serious reading of that and you must have a separate notes on Mahatma Gandhi for your mains exam, GS and essay. Now we have come to the end of the session. Answer to yesterday's question of the day and today's question of the day is there on your screen. Please attempt the question, write your answer in the comment section, and also attempt the DNS quiz on our ELEARN platform. Thank you for being with me for half an hour. Goodbye. Take care.